Shabbat Shalom again, everyone. I have the honor of being able to introduce to you our guest preacher and teacher for this evening, welcoming him to our city and our community and our congregation. This evening, this Shabbat, we are privileged to hear words of Torah from Rabbi Joel Mosbacher. I want to say a few words about Rabbi Mosbacher before I invite him to the Bima. He comes to us from New York City, where he currently serves as a senior rabbi of Temple Shaaray Tefila. He grew up in Chicago and graduated from the University of Wisconsin, go Badgers, in 1992, with a degree in philosophy and Hebrew and Semitic studies. After working for a stint in London as a youth worker, he enrolled in the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion, which ordained him as a rabbi in 1998. In 2006, he received his doctorate of ministry from HUC with a focus on pastoral counseling. In his congregational life, Rabbi Mosbacher began his career at Temple Emanu in Dunwoody, Georgia, moving from there to Beth Chaverim Shir Shalom in New Jersey, where he served for 15 years before arriving at his current post in New York. In addition to his work leading and guiding congregations toward justice and learning and prayer, he also serves on the national strategy team of the Metro Industrial Areas Foundation and has a delightful family with 2 sons and a wife, all of whom he loves very much. In addition to his leadership in the congregation, his leadership in our movement, his role as a nationally recognized organizer and teacher and proponent of justice and compassion in our world, Rabbi Mosbacher's significance for us tonight is that he's also had the honor of serving as a mentor and teacher and guide and beloved rabbi of your rabbi, Rabbi Joshua Fixler. I know that Rabbi Mosbacher's role, guidance, and mentorship has been critical to the beginning and formation of Rabbi Fixler's rabbinate, has helped him propel him to the role that he serves here in our congregation today. So it is my honor, and I know it is yours as well, to learn Torah tonight from Rabbi Joel Mosbacher. Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom. It is indeed a great honor to be here with all of you tonight, and to borrow a page from your newest rabbi, I am extremely grateful to be in this place, in this extraordinary moment in the life of Congregation Emanu. I'm grateful to Rabbi Hayon and Rabbi Silk and Cantor Simmons and Rabbi Walter for letting me share this bima with you. And I'm hugely grateful that Rabbi Fixler invited me to be a part of this special service of welcome. Although the truth can now be told, this weekend was all an excuse for me to just be able to come to Houston and hug Ella. But I thought I would come tonight anyway. As I thought about what I might share with you this evening, on this evening of celebration, I got to thinking about mitzvot, about the commandments in the Torah. As you know, there are 613 commandments in all. That's 248 thou shalts and 365 thou shalt nots, for those of you keeping score at home. There's, of course, the Big Ten, and I don't mean Wisconsin or Ohio State. Then there are all the commandments about what we should or shouldn't eat, what we should or shouldn't wear. There are 36 times in the text that the Torah commands us to love the stranger because we were strangers in Egypt, a command that feels especially relevant this week. And then there is possibly the coolest and strangest commandment of them all in this week's Torah portion. It's as cool as the commandment that says each Jewish person should write their own Torah scroll. And it's probably as strange as the commandment not to consult ghosts. Josh, it doesn't say anything about golems in the Torah. If you don't know, your newest rabbi is obsessed with golems. No, the coolest and strangest commandment in the Torah might just be V'samachta bechagecha v'hayita ach sameach. You shall be joyful on your festival and have nothing but joy. On the face of it, the Torah appears to be strangely and wonderfully commanding us to be happy. I don't know about you, but that strikes me as a little strange. To command us to have fair weights and measures in business feels like a legitimate commandment. But how on earth can God command us to be happy? When you tell someone else who's sad, but you should be happy, how does that work for you? How does it work for them? If we could all easily turn on the fountain of joy in our hearts on command, our culture would look very different. Entire, very profitable industries are built around selling happiness in some form or another. How does it work to command people in a religious sense to feel a feeling? As it turns out, that's not exactly what the Torah is doing. The fuller text in this week's Torah portion says, "You shall observe the festival of Sukkot for 7 days, after you've gathered in your grain and your wine. And you shall be joyful in your festival, you and your son and your daughter and your manservant and your maidservant and the Levite and the stranger and the orphan and the widow who are inside your gates. 7 days you should hold a festival for God, and you will have nothing but joy." That is to say, you got to do a number of things. You have to come together with your family and your community and your fellow congregants to host a celebration, presumably featuring the aforementioned grain and wine. I don't know if that's on the menu at the Oneg, but I hope that it is. So the commandment to be joyful is really a commandment to throw a party, to have a celebration, to bring people together, all the while making sure that even those most on the margins of society are included. So this isn't exactly a commandment to be joyful, but rather to get out into a community and to celebrate. So for just a moment, I want you to turn to someone near you and tell them briefly what brings you joy. I really mean it. Go ahead, tell someone else what brings you joy.
Shocking. What brings you joy? Well, tonight your voice is bringing me joy. It's lovely to hear you sing. And nice to tell me your first name again. Richard. Nice to see you. Nice to see you.
So tell me for a second, what did you hear? Not what did you say to somebody else. Tell me one thing you heard about what brought the other person joy. Having you here. It's true. Okay, what else? Sleep. My signal says sleep, yes. Eating. Okay, how about over there? What brings you joy? Family. And someone said music. That would be good. Actually, what else brings you joy? Your grandchildren. Your children. And they would say their parents and grandparents. I'm sure that's what they would say. So that's what we're here to do tonight, to celebrate and to appreciate what brings us joy. Congregation Emanu was already an incredible community before Josh and Annie and Ella came to town. This community is one of the crown jewel synagogues of the Reform movement. You should know that if you don't know that already. And the energy and enthusiasm in this congregation is infectious, and I hope to be able to take back just a little bit of the energy that I'm receiving from all of you tonight back on the plane to New York City. This was already an incredible clergy team, one that was the envy of Reform synagogues around the country. Tonight, though, you add a remarkable mensch to this already incredible team. I hope there's some grain and some wine for our celebration, because this evening is truly a night of rejoicing. You've called Rabbi Josh Fixler to be your newest rabbi, and I don't think you fully understand what joy he is going to bring you. Rabbi Fixler is wise and thoughtful and funny and kind and caring. As Rabbi Hayon mentioned, I had the honor of supervising him when he served as a rabbinic intern in my congregation, but a weird thing happened that convinced me that we definitely weren't paying him enough. I was supposed to be his mentor, but he ended up being more of a rabbi to me than I could ever be to him. And that's what you've gone and done, Congregation Emmanuel. You've gone and hired a deeply relational person, an extraordinary teacher of Torah, a rabbi who is passionate about justice and the possibility of spiritual worship to transform lives. Josh Fixler is a rabbi who is going to inspire young professionals and young families, but not only that. He's going to bring joy and learning and meaning to the lives of every congregant of every age and stage who's blessed to welcome him as one of their clergy people. Tonight is about Rabbi Fixler and Annie and Ella, and yes, it's also about this sacred congregation. It's about the opportunity you have in this moment to rejoice, to celebrate, to laugh, and hug and connect with each other. It's about the miracle of being in community, of being together, even in this topsy-turvy world. It's about knowing that all of this joy, all of this delicious joy, is a joyous blessing. Tonight together we fulfill this mitzvah. V'samachta b'chagecha v'hayita ach sameach. Tonight we rejoice in this moment, and our hearts are filled with celebration and joy. May you and your newest rabbi go from strength to strength, from festival to festival, from abundance to abundance, and from gratitude to gratitude. Shabbat shalom.
Rabbi, thank you for your words, for your teaching, and for your guidance and mentorship. As we invite Rabbi Fixler with us up before the ark to receive a moment of blessing, I'll invite all of my clergy colleagues in the room to join us for this moment of blessing, and invite the rest of you please to rise as the ark is opened. Face me, and everyone else is going to come on around. Okay. The sages taught, Moshe kibel Torah misinai umsara lehoshua. Moses received the words of Torah at Mount Sinai, and he transmitted it to Joshua. Joshua, in turn, passed it to the elders, and the elders to the prophets, and the prophets transmitted Torah to the sages of the Great Assembly. And those sages, those rabbis who came before us, the rabbis of rabbis of rabbis whose chain of tradition leads to this spot and this time, taught three things: be deliberate in judgment, raise up many disciples, and protect the integrity of the Torah. Rabbi Fixler, as we stand here in this sacred space before the commanding presence of these Torah scrolls, we stand facing the words of that same Torah that link that mystical, mysterious moment atop Sinai to this very moment, as the transmission of Torah continues as it has since our people became a people. And we stand before this holy presence, and we ask God's blessing. Our God and God of our ancestors, bestow your blessings on this rabbi and his congregation. Instill in him wisdom and righteousness, steadfastness and devotion as he steps forward to lead this congregation. Grant him a wise heart and candor and courage. May he respond to every challenge with dignity, and plant within him a full measure of your compassion that he might embody the words of your tradition. And now, Rabbi, we ask God's blessing on you with the same words with which we and all of those rabbis and teachers, cantors, and sages who came before us have blessed the people dear to them from generation to generation.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine down upon you and be very sweet and gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the divine presence always remain near you, and may you be blessed with the greatest gifts that God gives, God's blessings of wholeness, goodness, and peace. Amen.
Amen. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a warm place to sleep. Some nights I lie awake counting gifts instead of counting sheep. I've got a heart that can hold love. I've got a mind that can think. There may be times when I lose the light and let my spirit sink, but I can't stay depressed when I remember how I'm blessed. Grateful, grateful, truly grateful I am. Grateful, grateful, truly blessed and duly grateful. In a city of strangers, I've got a family of friends. No matter what rocks and brambles fill the way, I know that they will stay until the end. I feel a hand holding my hand. It's not a hand you can see, but on the road to the promised land, this hand will shepherd me through delight and despair, holding tight and always there. Grateful, grateful, truly
What an incredible honor it is to stand at that ark and receive this blessing. As I accept the mantle of leadership as a member of the Emanu clergy, I stand humbled and awed by this community, by your generosity and warmth, by your kindness and spirit, by your history and by your vision. I am truly grateful to have found a new home here in Houston with y'all. And I look forward to many incredible things that we will accomplish together. Thank you for welcoming me and my family as we have settled in over these past few months. I'd like to thank the clergy team for that inspiring blessing and for all you have done to welcome me. Rabbi Hayon, Rabbi Silk, Cantor Simmons, and Rabbi Walter, I came here in large part because I wanted to learn from and work with you. You challenge me and all of us to strive to live lives of vision and purpose, and I feel so lucky that I get to do this work with you. I'd like to thank my mentor and friend, Rabbi Joel Mosbacher, for coming all the way from New York to speak this evening. I have learned so much from you these past few years, and when I thought about whose words on this night would most inspire me as I take my next steps in the rabbinate, there was really no question that it had to be you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom with us and for being an inspiring presence in my life. To all the Emanu staff, whose kindness shines in everything they do, thank you for welcoming me into your lives. I've been so blessed to make so many fast friends, and I look forward to growing closer in partnership and friendship in the years to come. I want to thank the search committee who worked so hard this past spring, led with vision and passion by the wonderful Helen Dreyfus and our president, Jeff Basson-Enquist. You are so incredible at the little details that highlighted what a thoughtful and welcoming place this is. You told the story of this synagogue in a way that made me excited to be a part of the next chapter. You are the real reason that I am here, and I am grateful to you. And to my family, who have come from New York, Pennsylvania, Colorado, and California to be here this weekend. This word gets thrown around a lot, but actual miracles had to happen for my family to be here tonight. Well, seeing you walk through those doors gives me a feeling of joy that's impossible to express. Thank you to my grandmothers, the matriarchs of our family, for lighting the candles this evening. And thank you to my wife, Annie, and my baby daughter, Ella, whose support on this journey is what makes it possible. It is the greatest blessing of all to spend my life with you. I wanted to be a rabbi almost my whole life. I sometimes jokingly say that Jewish education is the family business. And it's a joke based in fact, since my grandmother, who you saw earlier, actually owned a business where she published Jewish educational materials. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to join the family business. I've wanted to be in the business of building communities that have the power to lift people up in their darkest moments and elevate them at times of their greatest joy. I want to be in the business of making Jewish texts come alive in our homes and in our hearts. I want to be in the business of seeing Jewish children's eyes sparkle with the light of Torah. I want to be in the business of transformation that starts with our souls and then moves to our community and then changes the world. And I want to be in the business of being a light for this world, a beacon for a vision of a world that could be. That's the business we're in here at Congregation Emmanuel. That's the business of Jewish life. That's God's business. And now I'm in business. And now I have to work. We have work to do. We have to work to take a strong and vibrant congregation and continue to make it thrive. We have work to do, especially in these trying and turbulent times, to hold each other in our fears and our heartbreak, even as we work to transform them into hope and action. We have work to do to make sure that every prayer and every program speak to our souls and reflect the realities of the world in which we live. We have work to do to open our doors wide and our hearts wider to those who have not yet been included in the life of our community. We have work to do to make a visible and consequential impact on Houston's moral and spiritual, cultural, and intellectual life. And we have work to do to ensure that this place continues to speak to the fullness of people's lives for this generation and generations to come. It is work that I am honored and humbled and inspired to join you in. I look forward to doing this work together. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.